Yeah.
And then one training session, Coach Ompong approaches me and he says, "You know, I think if you stay as a field player, you have no chance playing UAP juniors."
Oh my God.
Pero
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Season Podcast, where we get to know the sports that you know about and those that you should know about. Once again, I am Giga Season, and today we're going to be keeping, pun intended, we'll be keeping ourselves in the same sport as the last episode as we continue to talk football. So, joining me today is a former UAAP Juniors best goalkeeper, currently the goalkeeper of the Kaya Football Club, an old friend of mine, and a former SEP assistant fresh from his appearance in the AFC Champions League, Mr. Zach Banzon. Zach,
yeah,
thank you so much for joining us today. How have you been? I know you're in quarantine right now, so what's that like right now?
it's nice to know you haven't changed with your puns. But yeah, I've been doing well naman. We just got back yesterday from Thailand. Like you said, we just played the AFC Champions League, which is the highest level of club football in Asia. Uh, Unfortunately, we weren't able to get any points, but it was such a great experience going against the champions of Korea and the champions of Asia, champions of Thailand, champions of Vietnam. So you can really tell it was a tough task for us, but yeah, we're here now in Makati. We're just quarantined, and we'll see how the next 10 days go.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna talk about a lot about that, your experience there, and your experience with Kaya in general. But I want to start off a little light. I've asked this with all of my guests that are football players. So that's where we'll start off before we get into your career. Do you have an issue with calling it soccer or football?
Well, for me, yeah, it's football for me, but when people call it soccer, I don't mind as long as we're playing the same sport.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, okay. So now, like I said, we'll get into your career before we talk about, your thoughts on the goalkeeper position. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. So we'll start off with, where you started with football. So what is the story, or what made you first get into the sport of football?
People always laugh at me when I share the story because I started playing football because I watched the movie Shaolin Soccer when I was a kid. So yeah, I wanted to be like the what do you call that? Mighty Steel Leg, was that his name? Yeah, that guy. So I
Okay.
want to be a striker. It's really funny movie. So it influenced me a lot when I was a
So
kid.
so this was
And
around how old were you when you started?
I think it was around grade 3 or grade 4. Yeah,
Okay. And then, sorry, I actually don't think we've talked about this before. So you went to grade school in
Claret.
Claret. Okay, so
Yeah,
grade three, grade four. There's also I'm assuming there's already a varsity team by then. So
yeah,
was it like, once you saw the show, you ran to the tryouts kind of thing?
yeah. I joined the football club because we have like clubs, diba,
Yeah.
in grade school. So I joined the football club, and I remember the first session pa. It was raining really hard, but I was so excited. I was wearing, the cleats already. But since it was raining, we were on like the driveway lang.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was really hard wearing cleats on the actual ground. So, but I remember, I think I first tried out for the varsity in Claret grade 4 or grade 5, but I didn't get in the first time,
Okay.
and then it was only grade 6 that I was able to join the varsity, but I was only able to join for I think 2 games because um I had some problems with because since grade school, um it wasn't like I'd focus on my studies only or football only like the rest of the team. Well, not well, yeah, kinda. The rest of the team was they were more focused on football. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
for me, I was involved in lots of like quiz bees and all that, like competitions. So it was hard for me to juggle both. So coupled with the fact that I was going to transfer to Ateneo for high school, they took me off the team then.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I
Okay.
started back in grade school.
So okay, when you first joined the team, like you said, you wanted to be a striker because of the show. So what but was that the position that you were, playing in your brief stint with Claret?
Uh, I think they put me in midfield, like
Okay.
center mid, but they put me. I tried the left wing and then right back also. They put me everywhere. So
So at this point, like was there any thought about playing, because you're playing goalkeeper now. So was there any like did you actually think about it, or was it really like, no, I don't wanna
none
be
at
in that.
all. None at all.
Okay.
I only started goalkeeping actually fourth year high school,
What?
like right before fourth year. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that sounds right. Okay. So okay, now we'll go where we met Ateneo High School, right? Um I know that you were part of the futsal team,
Yep.
but what year did you join the futsal team?
That was in second year.
Second year. So second and third year, you're part of the futsal team,
Yeah.
and you were playing what position?
Uh,
I'm not that familiar with the positions in futsal, but were you a goalkeeper or not?
I was like, I was actually one of the top scorers of the team then.
Okay.
So yeah, I wasn't a goalkeeper.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah. So how you ended up in the UAAP Juniors team, fourth year. Tama.
Yeah.
Fourth year na. So graduating year, you had not played goalkeeper at all before that.
Yeah.
And then, because I know there were two of you, it was you and Pat, diba? And I know Pat didn't play keeper either.
Yeah.
So how was that transition? Like how did they even um approach you in you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how do they go up to you and like, hey, we know you haven't played keeper at all, but how about now?
So when I was in third year, the goalkeepers for the juniors team were I think JP Orashon and
Yeah,
Julio Nemenyo, and they were both graduating.
they were
So
both. Yeah, okay.
they didn't have a goalkeeper for next year, and I don't know because I was also with Coach Ompong's team. So
Mm.
I was in the futsal team, but I was also like playing field. Uh, and I don't know. Sometimes I guess I had in training just be a goalkeeper for fun.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
one training session, Coach Ompong approaches me and he says, you know, I think if you stay as a field player, you have no chance playing UAP juniors.
Oh my god.
Pero sabi niya, but he said, pero I've seen you as a goalkeeper in a training. You should try kasi they don't have a goalkeeper next year. I was like, okay. So that summer, the UAP juniors team started training na, and then I think there was five of us they were trying out five goalkeepers. So yeah, Pat, Steven Rivera. It was Gavin Rosario
Yeah,
was
yeah.
incoming freshman pa lang, but he was already training with us. And then it was me and Ramon, like two people who have never played goalkeeper before. And yeah, in the end, it ended up being me and Gavin in that season. And then yeah, stuff happened from there.
Okay. Well, I mean, how would you assess, I guess, the transition that you had to go through? Like, were there times when, I don't know, I would imagine, like, if you're so used to playing field, like, are there times when you're like about to run to the other side, but you're like, oh, hold on a second.
I remember it was really hard. We had some games, I think maybe a Rifa game or something against San Beda, where I didn't play well as a goalkeeper, and then people would say um, like that's the first time I saw a goalkeeper do that or something like something bad.
Okay.
Well, yeah, well, I haven't been a goalkeeper for so long. I don't know what to do really. So it was a long learning curve, I guess. And then, well, my philosophy is until now, I'm still in that learning curve. Like I'm always learning, I'm always improving. But back then, I guess it just boiled down to like me wanting to play also because like if I
It's
wasn't
true.
playing as a goalkeeper, I wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't be doing anything. I wouldn't be playing football for the school. So I stuck with it. We trained almost every day, 6 a.m. before school. I miss those times now. But yeah, I just stuck with it then and then kept improving. Yeah.
Was there I don't know, like a specific game, or I don't know, maybe even a specific training session when it kind of just clicked, like you're like, okay, I'm kind of getting it, like like you kind of like identify yourself as a goalkeeper already, like you've shifted to that mindset, to that position already.
I think the start would be our first round game against FPU that season
Oh man,
because I wasn't
FEU.
yeah, I wasn't I wasn't starting pa the
Okay.
first round. It was Gavin who started the first two games, and then FEU Gavin also started, but we went down I think 2-0 the first 10-20 minutes,
Okay.
and maybe Gavin was a bit uh distracted or something.
Off
So
game,
Coach
yeah.
JP, yeah, Coach JP told me, "Oh, Aro, ready na." When I got on, I managed to, I think, keep a clean sheet the rest of the game. So I think from then on, yeah, something like something lit in front of me or in me, and then I remember FEU talaga. I have nothing against FEU now because I have FEU teammates and I love them.
Of
The
course,
same
of course.
same
But
people
I
I
mean,
played against, but
even me, like during high school, just watching,
yeah,
we couldn't get past FEU. Yeah,
and the first, I think that was that game, my first time playing against FEU. They were already a tough opponent on the
for
field.
sure.
But you know how in Fern Field, behind the goal there are like stands.
Yeah,
There'd
it's
be
the
FEU,
fans.
yeah, FEU students there shouting death threats. Like, like,
Oh
"Mamatay
my
kita,
god.
mamatay ka na." I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I was like, is this, ganun ba talaga kayo? I was like, yeah, it was a crazy experience. But since then, something lit in front of in me, and I love being goalkeeper since then.
But yeah, I mean, it must have been tough because I mean, we all know how much of a powerhouse they were. Plus the
Yeah.
home court advantage. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, so now so basically but it was your first year of goalkeeping, and at the end of the season, you got best goalkeeper of the year, best goalkeeper of the
Yeah.
tournament. So how big was that for you? Like, um was it something that was like, okay, my hard work paid off, like this is where I'm supposed to be, or was it just another accolade?
Oh, I didn't expect it talaga. So when they called my name, I was like, oh, really? Why me? But I feel like, and I was thinking maybe because they gave all the offensive awards to FEU, so maybe they'll just give a few defensive awards to us. But yeah, I think because of that, people started taking me more seriously, I guess. And I think that's a big factor as to why I was brought into Kaya.
Okay, so yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go into the college years now. B- but before that, before you got into the UAP team, or maybe even while you were during that fourth year in high school, what were your plans? Like, was professional football on your sights at the time?
So I wanted to go to UP to take psych to be a doctor in
Okay.
PGH. That was the plan already. And then I remember Coach JP was trying to tell me to, oh, have you enrolled na? And baka kung di pa, you can go to Ateneo still and all that. But yeah, I think since then my mind was set na, like that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a doctor, and that also played a part in my decision not to play UAAP football. like seniors, because I was thinking uh, it would be harder for me to juggle my
Yeah. Yeah.
academics with like UAP football. And then again, for some reason, uh, Coach JP kasi was also the coach of the U19s in Kaya. And in
Okay.
fourth year pa lang, uh, I had lots of my teammates playing for Aguila. So I was like, wow, they're playing for actual like clubs.
Clubs. Yeah.
Like that's such a no, that's a nice feeling, I guess. Like I want to experience that too. And then thankfully, I think it was just Pancho and me who went to Kaya, and everyone else was in Aguila. And then yeah, since then I was working with Coach JP, and then worked with him
Okay.
with Kaya B also.
So high school season. You're the last year in high school. The season ends. After that, um, you're already set on going to UP,
Yeah,
right? And then, so when exactly were you? When exactly did you join Kaya?
I think it was towards the end of fourth year. I think we were
Okay. So
uh,
after the season.
doing exams. Yeah, after the season,
Okay. Okay.
then we had exams lang, and then the YFL season was still ongoing. So it started without me already, and
Okay.
then uh, I think I came in maybe the second or third game for Kaya, and then yeah, I stayed there now.
Okay. Okay. So this is all before you entered college, right?
Yeah,
So you go into UP. You're still set on not playing UAP, right?
yeah.
So you didn't try out or anything. Nobody. I mean, I'm guessing like somebody might have asked you to try out.
A lot of people asked.
Okay. So um okay, what's the decision, or like what was going through your mind, not playing UAP, but you decided to stick with Kaya, to keep playing with the club.
Yeah, so after the YFL season, Coach JP asked me, are you playing? Are you gonna play for UP or something? And like I said, I was set on not playing UAP. I think part of the decision was also because I was emotionally connected to the Ateneo team and Ateneo's coach, syempre. But anyway, yeah, I decided not to go play UAP, and then they're saying, oh, maybe you should just play with Kaya B.
Okay.
So back then, Kaya had a second team, which is playing in the WFL. So that's a weekend league.
Okay.
And they
Oh,
only
that's
train
perfect. Yeah.
they only train three times, so that's like maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then played Sunday. So I was like, okay, compared to full like a full student athlete for
Like
UAP where you train probably every
every
day, I
day.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the added pressure of like playing for your school and all that. I was like, okay, maybe I can just chill in Kaya B. I'm still playing the sport I love, which I like,
It's
and
true.
I'm working with Coach JP still. People who trust me and I know are good coaches for me. So yeah, they're like, okay, I'll go to Kaya B. Then played with them there.
Okay. So this, you when I know you signed with the senior team, what is it, 2016?
Yes.
So that was, if I'm 2015, then that was your second or third year. Tama.
Yeah, mga 2.5 years after.
Okay. So um if you were already playing pretty well with Kaya, like I'm sure every year was there any thought of trying out for the team, the UP team? Because I mean UP's not, they've won some championships, I think during our college, and like
Yeah.
at least two, if I'm not mistaken. So was there any, did you ever consider it? Did you ever go to a tryout eventually?
No. I was
Okay.
thinking I thought about it a few times for sure, but I was also thinking because they already had Ace Villanueva,
Okay.
who ended up being my teammate also in Kaya and my super good friend. But I was thinking, okay, they already have Ace, and I was thinking maybe there's like seniority pa, so
Yeah.
maybe I wouldn't
Yeah.
get to play as much in UP. So I was like, okay, I'm playing a lot in Kaya with Kaya B. I'm the starter. Uh, yeah, I really enjoyed it there. So I decided against playing U for UP talaga.
Okay. So Kaya B. and then you had um obviously I mean there was an offer first, of course, to join the senior team. So that was your, I think, like you said, your third or maybe your fourth year. What was the thought process there? I mean, it was always, because you know what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
like listening to your story, it's okay. I'm gonna go here, study, go to med. Don't want to play for the UP team because you know it might take away from the time to study.
Yeah.
And if I'm with the Kaya team, it's fine because you know less training, less pressure, and everything. Now the opportunity to be a professional football player comes. Like, first of all, I guess let's start off. Were you expecting them to offer?
No.
So as in, like, there was no hints leading up to it.
Well, because the year before I got an offer, they only had one keeper left to stay because I
Okay,
think the other one had a
transferred.
contract dispute or something, and then
Okay, okay.
went back to where he came from. So since they only had one, they needed another goalkeeper for training. So they'd always ask me to, since I was in the B team, they always ask me to go to their trainings. So
Okay.
they could have proper trainings, like small-sided games and whatnot. But I didn't really think of anything. Diba?
Parang like just a training player, ganun.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay,
here
okay.
to make up the numbers. Of course, I feel like I showed what I was. I showed what I was capable of doing. I trained well, and then people. I think one of the coaches of Kaya B told me, you've been doing well. Maybe you'll get an offer. I think you'll play there maybe 3, 4 years. But even then, I still wasn't expecting anything.
Baka paasa lang, ganun. Or he's hyping you up. Yeah, okay, okay.
And then super funny story. I don't think the managers know about this, but when I got the text asking how that they wanted to talk to me about a potential offer and all that. I was in my friend's birthday party. I was playing beer pong. That's what I'm saying. Like with Kaya B, honestly, like of course when I was on the pitch, like I took it super seriously. I gave my all, but at the same time, I had an opportunity to do the things uh, outside the field that I
Of
wanted.
course. Yeah.
Relax, hang out with my friends. Anyway, it was my friend's birthday, and I was literally in the middle of playing beer pong. And then I got the text. I was like, "Huh? Like, what? Really?" It was the last shot pa. So after I read the text, everyone was so hyped. Yeah, I got the ball, just shot it, went in pa, and
Oh
everyone
my
went
god.
wild. It was so funny. But anyway, when I read it, because again, I wasn't expecting to play for the first team, diba? And that was when, since I was a fan, being part of the club, I was a fan, and I've been following them. I watched them qualify for our first AFC Cup stint in 2015. So that gave us qualification for 2016. So they were calling me up for 2016. So I was like, oh, so I'm gonna be part of the AFC Cup. I was like, oh, I was like, at that point I was like, okay, I don't think I can turn that down. It's like we're going. I know they're going to Hong Kong, Singapore, and the Maldives. When am I gonna have the chance to get to the Maldives? Like, I was like, oh, okay, like sure, like of course I wouldn't turn it down. So yeah,
Okay, so um you joined them on that stint. So the contract was like, what was it, like a year
yeah, like a
contract.
year, and then
But at
probably
this point, you're still in college.
yeah.
So when parang did the plans change right then and there, or you were like, I'll play a year, then that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just feeling it out because remember, like I just wanted to enjoy the feeling of being in the AFC Cup. I wanted to just enjoy being in the AFC Cup, and I wasn't really thinking, I guess, about my future. But I think what really made me decide, or what changed my plans, was I took Bio 11, so that's
Oh my gosh.
so that's a bio class that's required in BS Psych. And honestly, I don't wanna. It's kind of a humble brag. I wasn't having a hard time like as much as my other ano naman, my other batchmates. But at the same time, that feeling of like studying from 8 p.m. to like 5 a.m. and all that, and just studying the same thing over and over again, just to get barely passing. It's like I felt like I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life anymore.
Gets,
So
yeah.
yeah, that was definitely a big factor. And then, of course, since I was already uh, technically a professional football player, like I had another option in front of me. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. So now, yun nga. So you're set na, I guess, of playing football. Playing with Kaya. And you got to, like you said, there weren't that many goalkeepers at the time. So you got a lot of you got to play a lot, right? You got to start a lot. But eventually they brought in other players, more experienced players, right? And you didn't. I think, if I'm not mistaken, like I did some research. You didn't start as much as you did in your earlier days, right? So was that an adjustment that you had to make, or was it like a problem for you? Like did it seem like a downgrade in any way?
yeah. Well, the first year, 2016, I didn't expect at all to play because it was just our first AFC Cup stint, and we had two foreign goalkeepers. So I was just there being a Filipino goalkeeper, uh, and then 2017 was when because both of our foreign goalkeepers uh, left, so it was just me left. Yeah, and then for me, I guess I just switched on. I thought maybe I could play because I'm the only one left. I don't know who else they're gonna. I don't know who else they're gonna get. Well, for sure they're gonna get someone.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one, but I don't know who it is. I don't know where you're gonna come from, but maybe it's time to show what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
And then I started the first few games that season, but I talked about this on different occasions now. But after the sixth game, that's when they brought me back to the bench, and it was a bit of a of a tough time because when I started playing, I feel like uh, sometimes you feel like you're unbeatable.
Yeah.
I was already there, and then as early as the third game, like I was brought back down to earth. Oh wow, like if I want to be a professional football player or a professional goalkeeper, even like there's so much for me to learn. Pa. There's so much more for me to improve. Like I'm not at that actual level yet. Like I could be there. I'm almost there, but there's so many things I have to do. And after I got put to the bench again, uh, other people just started playing for. So that happened for until this year actually. So I wasn't I, wa- I had the starting position back in 2017, and
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I felt like I was a start. I'm a starter again. So those years it was just full of just training. As always, I just train hard, but
Yeah.
I just try to learn every day and just improve, and then hopefully my chance would come again. So it took a while, but
We
I got it
back.
again this year.
Okay. So okay, I have to ask, like, Kaya. I have to ask because Harvs is my guy. So, um, you played with Harvs in high school, right?
Yeah.
Um, and now you just signed him. So, what's it like playing with him again? I guess, how different of players are is he, and how different of player are you from the time that you played with him at back in high school?
Well, syempre, back in high school pa lang, he was already Jarvey Gayoso. Everybody expected a lot from him. He was already a good player, and honestly, like I said, throughout the years, but like it was like a long uh learning process for me. Like I just trained as hard as I could every day, even if no one was watching. And one of my motivations, he doesn't know this yet, but one of my motivations actually was, I don't know, because I was telling myself back in high school, everybody expected a lot of Harvey. He was already the next big thing, and then hopefully he doesn't like get mad at me. But I was telling myself, you know what? Maybe I want to be the guy who stop him to be like, uh, to be his match. So throughout the years, actually, I think we played each other twice. I played against him twice, but he never scored against me. So RB. But yeah, going back, when I found out that he signed for us, like I was really happy. And then when we finally met in the training pitch, I could tell he's improved a lot. He was already good then, but he improved even more, and uh, it hasn't really changed actually. Like he's still like that big thing, and he's still
Yeah.
like uh the people that people expect a lot from. Like you just know like he has so much potential, and like I couldn't be prouder of him. So I still save his shots in training, but it's been really good having him with the team.
Okay, that's nice. Okay. Now another. So you play a goalkeeper position. You've played midfield, I guess, when you were younger, but right now with Kaya, you're literally. But I know I'm sure a lot of people have seen it as well if they follow Kaya, that you also hold the position of vlogger. So I just want to know, how did that start? Did they see? I guess I mean, I can see it, like for your personality. Like I can see and like I've watched the vlogs, and I can see why. But how did they? How does a team come to the decision? Like, hey, you should do our vlogs. And like, how did they even approach you and ask you to do that?
Uh, well, I think the first video they asked me to make was for a Pilates studio because Prana Movement Studio was helping us before during the lockdown, since we can't do anything,
Yeah.
we don't have gyms and all that. So they were doing sessions for us. So I made like a reaction video just for them. I was like, oh, I thought you said this would be easy, something like that. And then I guess they liked my personality and whatever. And then last year in the PFL bubble, apparently, they asked all the teams to have like a designated vlogger.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so since they found my Prana video funny, like, oh, you should do it. And like since I like making videos naman, like I grew up watching YouTube kasi, and then
Yeah.
I like content creators and whatever. So yeah, I agreed. And then apparently parang when I look into the PFL team, what? Parang ako lang yung gumagawa. Where are the other vlogs? Like, well, I don't know. Maybe they saw my vlog and they said, "Oh, it's too nice to come to you." But yeah,
Okay.
a lot of fans have been messaging since then about, "Oh, we really enjoyed your vlogs and all that." So, ayun, for this season, for our AFC campaign, Champions League campaign, we brought the vlogs back.
Okay, so in your next contract extension, you gotta include that. You gotta get paid a little more. I mean, content creators get paid crazy. So, okay. So we've talked about your career. So like I mentioned earlier, I had this segment I think with Harvs also. I've had it in volleyball. So it's called sleepers. So obviously in leagues or in sports that have drafts, there are sleepers or people that get drafted later than expected. So basically, underappreciated.
Yeah,
And I've talked to Harvs nga about it, and we agree. You can disagree as as a goalkeeper yourself. That the goalkeeper position is probably the sleeper of the sport of football. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna talk a little bit about that. Considering you have firsthand experience. Um, so I'll start off with the number one. Okay. So I don't know if you said you're a fan of Shaolin Soccer.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Super Strikers. Okay, and there was this one episode where they faced triplets, like parang superstar na triplets, and they were all on the same team. And obviously, as triplets, they had the numbers 1, 2, and 3. And then their goalkeeper was complaining. He was like, "I bet I'm the only goalkeeper that isn't number one." So I want to know: is it
Big
like a
Bo,
rule? No,
Big Bo, the
no,
goalkeeper.
no, no. This is their opponent.
Oh, okay.
So I want to know: is it a rule first that the goalkeeper has to wear number one?
No.
It's not an official rule. It's like an unspoken rule.
Uh, Kinda, yeah.
Because I
So
don't
there's
think
like,
I haven't seen a field player wear number one.
yeah, because I think in the old days, they, oh, this is just a theory, but in the old days, I think they probably just had 1 to 11, right? So, and then
Okay.
that's why it ended up like how we have like nicknames, or not really nicknames, but like another way to call the positions. So
Yeah.
I guess that depended on whichever jersey number they had back then. So, one goalkeeper, nine is like the top striker.
Mm.
If you say six, that's a defensive midfielder. Stuff like that. So
Okay.
there's
Okay.
actually like it's like a football jargon. Like if you say
Yeah. Yeah.
the six and the eight, so that's both the midfielders.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
guess that's how like the one got associated with goalkeeping. But as people can see now, like there's a more goalkeepers not wearing one. I think like 26 is a popular number now, like 25, 22, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. That's right now though. You're number one, right?
Yeah,
You just this time, but you
just
just
switched this
got.
year. Yeah.
So let's start with if you weren't number one, what number would you choose, and why?
I would have stuck with 22. So that was my number for the past 4 years, 5 years. That was because that was my number back in high school, and I just stuck with it. And then, yeah, I just switched this year because the number one was available, and it was a mini dream of mine to wear number one because I've never won. I've never won. I've never worn one. I was always 22 long, so I was like, okay, might as well give it a
Okay.
try.
Okay. Going back to number 22 though, there's almost always a story behind an athlete's jersey number. So I would assume if goalkeeper's number one, there's not really much of a story there. So is there a story behind number 22? It's usually yeah, it's usually never random.
You know what? I actually don't know why I picked 22. Because even when I was in high school, I had lots of numbers. Since I was in the futsal team, I was like 14, 10,
Mm.
23, 31. No, really random numbers.
Okay.
Because syempre before I had no idea about goalkeeping. Like I didn't want to be a goalkeeper. So I wanted to be number 10, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because that's what like Messi wears. That's what like
Yeah, yeah.
the good players wear.
Okay.
But
Okay.
when I became a goalkeeper, I don't know. I don't know why I picked. I don't know. There's no story behind it.
Okay. Now, well, usually known after number one, I mean, you can really pick, I think, any number if you're a keeper. But like, it is naman usually number one, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually
Okay.
goalkeeper.
Um. So now let's go into the meat of the discussion of, do you think that the goalkeeper position is underrated or underappreciated?
Well, of course, as a goalkeeper, syempre. Um, I think I don't know, like in training, when you're in a football team in training, you can really see it. Like sometimes people don't understand how hard goalkeeping is. Like they think, oh, why? Like how could like why didn't you save that, or why didn't you do this or that? Sometimes I really want to say, try mo kaya, di ba? Ang
Take
hirap
off your gloves and just give it to him.
Ako na lang dyan. Anyway, like, there's a lot that goes into, like, playing as a goalkeeper kasi. And I feel like it's not just, the physical stuff, the tactical stuff, but the mental stuff, the mental side of playing goalkeeper is, like, so huge. Like, there's not just, like, uh, like being aware mentally, because I think one of my advantages as a goalkeeper is I read the game pretty well. That's why I think I have really good positioning and all that. Because I'm able to imagine or like play the game in my head also while it's ongoing. But the pressure is just like so much also because you pretty much decide whether your team wins or loses. But like one mistake, if a striker makes a mistake, there's like 10 more people to go through. But if
Yeah.
you're the goalkeeper and you make that mistake, it's a goal. Like your team could lose because of that.
Yeah,
So
and I guess like comparing that to a striker, like if they miss, then it's still a draw. Or I
yeah,
mean, like it
they
doesn't
can get
put
another
the other team
chance.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So why like? Because I was talking, like I talked about in the past episodes also, like when we're kids, like even you mentioned that you weren't planning, like you didn't want to be a goalkeeper at the start. You know what I mean? Like when we play, like my class played a lot of like futsal, recess lunch, yung mga ganun. Nobody wants to be the keeper, diba?
Yeah.
Everyone, it's always like if ano nga yun?
You're the last man.
Yeah, or if you score, then you have to keep, diba?
Yeah.
Tapos usually you're just gonna let someone else score para they can switch out.
Yeah.
No, but like so for you, I guess how important is the goalkeeping position? Like, why do you think a lot more people should, I guess, look into it or like consider it at least? Because everyone obviously, understandably, wants the limelight, wants to be the one to score. But what's the how would you promote or how would you endorse, I guess, the goalkeeping position?
Oh, that's hard, man. Because that's really hard. Because I told myself already, like, if ever I have kids and they want to play football, I wouldn't want them to play goalkeeper. First of all, it's more expensive because you have to buy gloves, and then
Okay.
it's even my mom's always scared like when I get hit or like I still have like a bruise here from the second
Yeah, I
game.
saw the last game, right?
Yeah.
But that's a badass picture. I'm just saying.
Oh, it is. But there's so many like negatives, I guess, to goalkeeping. Like I said, the pressure is like really big also, and you have to be like switched on the whole game. But it, I guess the position chooses you. Like you don't really choose to be a goalkeeper. I think most goalkeepers would say like it chose them. Sometimes out of necessity, like my story, they were like we didn't have any
Um,
goalkeepers, or
Sometimes
that's
Coach
really
Ompong chooses it for you,
yeah.
ganun.
Thanks, Coach Ompong. Um, I think yeah, if you ask most goalkeepers, I think that's their story. Like either it was just out of necessity, or they were forced to, and then but the reason why I guess we stay as goalkeepers is because like you affect the game talaga, and like you can feel like a hero when you score, but you're like you can always feel like a hero also when you're a goalkeeper. I go back to this analogy because I'm a Jazz fan. So
Okay. So sorry.
recently, it's okay. Recently, when they played the Clippers, and I think it was like game two where the Jazz were up by 2 or 3, I think, and then there were like 6 seconds left, and then Marcus Morris was gonna take a three, and then
Rudy.
Gobert got fake, and then he
Yeah.
got the block, and it was a game-winning block. And that's
Yeah.
like pretty much what a goalkeeper does. He wins the game for your team, and as people say also like football is boring because sometimes you don't score,
Yeah.
but that's our job. We don't want you to score because we want our team to win. Uh, yeah, it's just knowing how you can affect the game and you can be hero in those moments, even if when they say it's 0-0, it's a boring game. But they probably won't know that you had like 20 saves just to keep it
Yeah.
at 0-0, diba? So as in that feeling of how you can help you can help your team in that way is, I think, uh, one of the best feelings. And unfortunately, like not a lot of people have that feeling because they don't want to be goalkeepers and they don't know that feeling yet. But I think
Yeah.
once they try it, and once they feel like, wow, I can really help my team this way, like more and more people would fall in love with the art of goalkeeping.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good comparison, like with like Rudy Gobert, basically with the defensive centers and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
Because like, I think what people don't really notice is, especially if they're watching on TV, like how much you guys are like shouting as
yeah,
goalkeepers. Like you're telling your defenders, you're telling even the midfielders, like where they should be, what's happening. So you're kind of like, parang aside from being the one physically stopping, like you have to like
yeah.
in a way
You're like controlling the
mastermind,
game also.
yeah, the whole defense. Okay, what's this called? So I guess just to get a glimpse then of what's different about a goalkeeper, like what is the difference in training like. And I guess like the main positive that you could talk about is that there's probably, correct me if I'm wrong, there's probably a lot less cardio that goes into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, what's a typical day in training for a goalkeeper? And I guess you can also in a way compare it or differentiate it from your training before with as a field position.
Yeah, there's definitely less running, but I think the cardio is still there for sure because you dive like
Yeah.
so many times. I always watch the England goalkeepers training, and they say they make like 600 to 700 saves like per session or per week, something like that, just for that one save that they have to
Yeah.
make for that game, diba? So it's a lot of repetitions. Uh, not a lot of, I guess, it's not a lot of similarities for with the training for the field players. So on a typical training day, we always sometimes we warm up together, but we separate early. So we have our own specialized training for goalkeepers talaga. And yeah, but I think one thing now that's a trend in modern football is that goalkeepers need to be really good with their feet. And I admit actually that's one of my not my weaknesses. Yeah, I need to improve on my feet, my kicking. Uh, so even if there's a lot of differences, people would even say like sometimes you're an individual in a team sport because sometimes it's so different talaga what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not just you're literally the only one who can hold the ball, who dives, who does stuff like that, and then the others you have to do what they're doing plus what a goalkeeper does. Gets ba? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not just uh, diba sila, you have to kick, you have to pass, and then you have to do those things plus an additional set of skills. So yeah, going back, sorry. Uh, Modern goalkeepers now have to be really good with their feet. So I think the training, the trend in training is also changing. It's always
Okay.
changing, but right now it's going towards the direction of being good with your feet. Manuel Neuer, Ter Stegen now, I think are very good examples. They're really good with their feet. They're almost that's why sometimes they feel like they're playing with 12 outfield players, not just 11, because the goalkeeper acts as like an extra man. And yeah, I admit it's one of my weaknesses actually, but I'm slowly improving and yeah.
Okay. What's this? I guess going, since you've played field and like you just mentioned, like when you were in the futsal team, you were one of the top scorers. Um, could you, I guess, give a comparison of the feeling of scoring a goal and saving a goal? Like, is it the same? I don't know, joy, or is it I don't mean, parang is it not
Yeah.
that big a deal?
I feel like it's almost the same, I guess, but people don't see it that way. That's
Oh
why
yeah, for
people
sure.
aren't like don't understand what's the joy in goalkeeping. Like I remember, uh, our Marlon Pia, former teacher, said, "Because remember, I don't know, he was my moderator in high school. Like,
Yeah,
ano ba yung, why are you a goalkeeper? Like, ano makukuha mo dyan? Hindi ka ba masaya? Well, yeah, for me, it's like, it's the same. When you score, you have your team, diba? You score 1-0 and all that. When I stop you from scoring. Like I see your face, like like you're disappointed in not scoring, or you're like you don't know like how I was able to pull off that save. I think that gives me the same joy. So it's hard to explain, but at the same time, like you know, it's it's an amazing feeling, just like
Yeah.
scoring a goal, I guess.
I mean, I would hope like because I feel like in basketball, there's been a shift. Like people recognize like the Rudy Gobert's more now, and like they get
Yeah.
hyped when they're blocks. I don't know lang if like would you like it more if that happened? Like every time you get a save, people are going crazy. Same way it would be with a goal. I don't know.
I think I like it when people appreciate it, but I think more people need to know. Maybe it comes with like understanding the game more, but more people need to know the difference between a hard save and an easy save.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
sometimes uh people overestimate how easy that save was, and they're like hyping it up. And for me, I'm like, oh, that was just a routine save.
yeah.
And then sometimes the opposite happens, but like they don't understand how difficult it was
Yeah.
until you see the replay or something, or
Mm.
until you know what it's like. So I think I definitely would appreciate it if more people would hype up saves and all that. But I think it would be better if it was paired with a more in-depth knowledge of
Yeah.
goalkeeping, which I guess I can't ask of everyone, but
Everyone.
you know, it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it's like the difference of like getting a save on like a penalty as opposed to like I guess like a lob.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you know, well, as a goalkeeper, like my style kasi is just really just get the ball out of the like stop it from going in, and then sometimes I'd watch other goalkeepers, and it would be like, why did you jump that way? Just to look good for the camera and all that, but you didn't save the ball. Like, what's the point, diba? And that's like sometimes like it irritates me because
Yeah.
your job is to stop the ball from going in. It's not just not for the look of it. So even if that's what I'm saying, like even if it looks like a weird save and all that, but you know how hard it was actually,
Yeah.
and like that's what I appreciate the most. Compared to like, oh, it looks so good, but then it was actually like, why didn't you just stand up and catch the ball and all that stuff like that,
Okay. So yeah, before we end this segment, I was just curious to know, like, even back in high school, because I think in high school you guys had a say in it. What do the keepers like? Because there's like two or three of you, right? How do you guys decide on what color you're gonna wear?
In training.
No, no, no. Like I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like with the juniors team, don't you guys get to pick what the jersey of the keeper is gonna be, or not? Do you guys
I don't
not?
know. I don't think we.
What?
Yeah, because they gave us like a pink one and a green
Yeah, that's
one.
what.
I don't know. When I got it, also I was like, really?
Is this
Last
a
year it was
joke?
orange. Why not just keep that? Like, why is it pink and like a
Okay.
highlighter green?
Okay, I thought you guys got to decide. Okay, so even now you just like they
No,
just pick
no,
for
they just
you.
give me whatever. I was like, no, but
Dang. Okay.
now naman like I just focus on like what I do on the field. Like doesn't matter what
Yeah,
I
yeah, of
wear, I
course, of
guess.
course. I was just curious, like with the whole keeper. Okay, my bad. All right. Um. So this next segment, so I have this with all my guests. So it's called Change Court, Change Sport. So whether it's now, maybe in the past you've thought about it, or like when you retire, what is a sport that you've always been curious to try out, or that I don't know, maybe you even wanted to try it competitively before. I don't know.
The sport I love the most after football is bowling. I love
Bowling.
competitive. I watch like pro bowling talaga. Like I have
Okay.
my idol is Jesper Svensson from Iceland and Jason Belmonte from Australia. So I love watching them. I just love watching bowling talaga. Um, I now after watching my idols, I bowl two-handed now. Have you ever seen two-handed bowling?
Yeah, I've seen it on yun nga, like when there are videos that pop on Facebook. It's so parang I get
Yeah,
curious.
because yeah, I don't know why I started liking bowling, but I don't know, a few years ago, I guess I just watched them, and then I started being curious about two-handed bowling and all that, and all like the balls. There's so much, I know, so much into it, pala. Like you think I thought before, like you can just go to Eastwood, get like a
Yeah.
random ball, just bowl. That's it. That's bowling. But when you watch competitive bowling, there's so much more to it. Talaga, like difference between balls,
Yeah.
like and they talk about the commentators talk about like the physics of the ball, like the axis rotation. I was like, wow, there's so much information about this. Like this is so cool. Like, so yeah, like uh, I haven't broken 200 yet, actually. I'm not that good of a bowler, but I really love playing bowling, and
That's
I thought
cool.
about it actually. Like, sabi ko, once I retire from football, maybe I can, like, play in some bowling tournaments, like, because I can do
Why
that.
not? Yeah.
So I'm old, but like, unlike football. So yeah, that's something I
Props.
really enjoy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean like yun nga yung mga iso tapos medyo ano nga kayo, 'di ba? Pabigatan lang ng ball.
Yeah, as you just throw straight and like you don't know anything about it, but once you watch the pro bowlers, like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
with
why they
the
do
with the
that.
spin and
Yeah,
everything.
like, oh,
Dang.
okay, like I really understand it, and that's why I think it's really entertaining.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, wait. So okay, let's stick it to the Philippines. Who would you say is your favorite athlete from a different sport? I mean, I know there's some known bowlers also. I don't know if that's who you're a fan of,
I
but
actually
yeah.
actually don't know any Filipino bowlers, sadly. Sorry,
What?
guys.
But Eastwood. Paing na po mo sa ano,
Oh, Paeng,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
I saw
But
Paeng.
anyways.
I saw Paeng like last year actually. I was bowling randomly lang in Makati. And I was like, there's just one guy practicing. His name was just P. I was like, wow, he's really good. And then I saw the like the cutout
The
behind him.
cut.
I was like, wait a minute, that's Paeng. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know Paeng that much, but one. I want to give a good answer here. Wait.
Go lang.
Mm, from a different sport, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
kind of hard. Can they be retired? That's okay.
Yeah,
You can naman,
for
right?
sure.
Okay, so for me, kasi like my one of my favorite footballers now is sorry, medyo I'll get there. One of my favorite footballers kasi is Hector Bellerin.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm not an, an Arsenal fan. I'm a Man United fan, so I don't like him on the pitch. But off the pitch, kasi like I really love what he does. So he's into photography, art, fashion, but he's also like uh, very passionate about the environment. So
Okay.
that's one thing I really like. And he has actually has a podcast too about being more than a footballer. So he interviews
Okay.
people about their advocacies after outside football. So I think that's really what athletes should be. That's what good athletes or good role models are like. Like they don't stick to their uh, just stick to their sport. That's one criticism people always get. Like, oh, why are you like Marcus Rashford recently? Why are you donating to these kids and you're not scoring on the pitch like that?
Yeah.
Like that's not that's not who we are. Lang. Like we're not just footballers. We have lives outside our sport, and um, those athletes who make a difference are really like my idols. So I guess the person who came into mind was Gretchen Ho. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so recently, I think the most recent that I saw her do was uh, since I'm into riding
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
bike.
Yeah.
She had like a donation drive for bikes, right? Like so, yeah. I think Gretchen Ho is a good example of
Yeah. And she's
doing
been
that.
huge on like media now. Like parang straight right after like volleyball. Biglang she's super successful in media and everything.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. That's
Okay.
one
Okay.
thing I want to be in. Like I want to be more than a footballer, and
Yeah.
that's why I look up to Hector a lot. I look up to Gretchen, and yeah, I just want to make my difference also as an athlete.
Awesome. And Hector's like pace on FIFA is Solid.
I'm wearing his shirt now.
Okay.
Hector Bellerin H&M collection.
Wow.
Yeah, it's made of
Solid.
sustainable materials,
Yeah.
so that's something nice.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so I guess like just before we end, I'll just ask, what's next for Zach Banzon? Like, what do you have planned for the future? With your career and with everything.
What's next is a vlog coming out today. Legit though, my vlog. Wait, you guys should watch.
I think this is gonna be released after that, so
Oh,
I'll
so
link it na lang.
we'll make we'll post more then. And anyway, in all seriousness, uh, I guess since we were at the topic of being more than a footballer, also like more than just playing in the Champions League, more than just my goals in football, I wanna make a change also with the community. So I don't know if you were able to watch one of the vlogs, but I explained that I've been working with Kaya. I've been talking to like the staff and the management, and I'm thankful for them for allowing me to do this. But we're doing like an awareness for the environment. So for every win we get this season, we will plant 25 trees since it's our
Yeah,
25-year
that's
anniversary as a
awesome.
club. Yeah, and down the line, I want to do more projects for the environment with our community in Iloilo. So we're uh, we're an Iloilo based club. So I want to get the fans engaged there. So lots of I've talked to someone there now. So we have a contact from the government, and we have projects that we can do already. But I think sadly there's a pandemic, so we can't really do much now. So right now it's about building more awareness, I guess. And I guess uh, with regards to football, the most like the pinakamalapit na is like the PFL, which is coming next month. So we just played the Champions League, so we don't want to go to we don't want to end the PFL season this year without being champions, because we already know what it feels like to be playing against the best of Asia, and we want to be back there as Philippine champions next time. So yeah, that's the most short-term goal that I can think of now.
All right. So once again, that was Zach Banzon from Shaolin Soccer to goalkeeper of the year to Kaya FC goalkeeper, and of course, but like you mentioned, more than just a footballer. Zach, once again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Really nice catching up with you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I enjoyed this. Thanks for having me.